general consensus of people who are covering the NBA draft. And for you, Sam, we're going to go to Nebraska. We're going to go to the guard from Nebraska, Bryce McGowens. All right, I don't know a huge amount about Bryce, so tell me, why are you high on him?
Yeah, so a couple things. Again, this is higher than the consensus, so you'll see him on most mock drafts going anywhere from 20 to probably 35, maybe 40. And I have him a couple spots higher. I have him 15 on my board, so anywhere from 10 to 15 spots higher than the consensus. He's a 6'6 guard. Out of Nebraska, was a freshman last year that played for, frankly, a Nebraska team that was not very good. But in terms of the biggest positives for him as a prospect, an elite foul drawer, got to the rim and to the free throw line a ton. Um, and he's a good athlete with good size at 6'6, 6'7 in shoes, and a very skilled slasher. Just kind of has a little bit of that skill around the basket that separates himself from other guards. But again, gets to the free throw line a ton, which is a good sign. The question with him, and it's a question with a lot of prospects that we analyze every year, that swing skill of the jumper. To what extent does the 3-point range in the NBA come around for him will kind of determine his career.
Yeah, because he shot, 27% last season. Took almost 5 attempts per game in his 33 minutes, but was, as you said, an excellent foul drawer, almost a 50% free throw attempt rate, and hit those at 83%, which we've seen over the years that can be a pretty good indicator in terms of improving three-point shooting. What was he like as a three-point shooter before college? Was he known as a shooter? This is just a down season for him across those 31 games, or has it always been something he struggled with?
So this is part of the reason I am higher on him is I do believe in the jumper. You pointed to the free throw percentage at like 83%. And so I kind of did a query looking back over college basketball recent history for guys that have taken like a decent volume of free throw attempts and shot above like 81, 82% as a freshman. Literally all of the guys that have done that end up being good shooters in the NBA. He shot well on floaters. He shot well from the free throw line. And like, I just buy that touch with him. And if you watch the games too, because you have to take into account the context, Nebraska, not that good. He had to take a lot of kind of bailout shots, a lot of self created threes, even at the end of shot clock. That kind of did pull down his percentage. So I think, when he plays a role in the NBA, when he could take some more catch and shoot, and obviously the 3-point jumper is something that you can just practice, right, with reps more than any other skill. That's kind of the reason I'm higher on him is I love the rest of his offensive game, and I'm just a little bit higher on the potential of that 3-point shot coming along.
What about defensively? Can he hold up? Is he going to be a target like a Trey Young, Tyler Hero style of defensive target for other teams, or can he at least hold up on that end?
Yeah, that's the hope. The starting point with him, because like you said, in the NBA, we see it in the playoffs. Certain guys can get hunted, but like a lot of times in the NBA, it's kind of like the appearance of being a defender. And so the hope with him is being 6'6", 6'7", that, yeah, he might not be a great defender early on, but with the size, I don't think he's going to be the first guy that teams are going to be necessarily picking on, like in their scouting report. And so with that size, that kind of gives me a little bit more comfort with him compared to a lot of the other smaller combo guards in this class, because we can talk about that, but this class is filled with combo guards. And so that's kind of part of the reason that a lot of these guys are slipping, whether it's a Ty Washington, a Jaden Hardy, a Bryce McGowens, a Blake Wesley. Like there's kind of a logjam of just a lot of those guys, but I value his size on the defensive end compared to kind of the rest of those guys.
So you mentioned a bunch of those guys. Plus, there's those guys who will be ahead of him, like Johnny Davis and Benny Mathurin, those sort of players. Like, what's the separation to you between him and, say, Davis and Mathurin, who are sort of grouped together at that late lottery type area?
So those two guys are better defensively. So that's why I have them higher. Johnny Davis, I have the highest, or I have Mathurin higher, and then Davis. Mathurin, the shooting is not the question mark with him. He can already shoot it. He can shoot it coming off screens, off of movement. Showed that at Arizona, and he showed a little bit of an improvement in the pick and roll game, which is big for him. So, plus he's got similar size to McGowens. And then Johnny Davis, better all around rebounder, defender. So even if the jumper doesn't come along, I like those ancillary aspects of his game. But McGowens to me is better than a couple of those other guys because of the elite slashing ability, the foul drawing, and the size.